I just thought I'd do my little review, little 10-minute review of the tidradio, the new radio that I bought, tidradio H8, second generation. I've seen some other videos now out there, so I thought I'd do my own one. Obviously, I went for the see-through tidradio, the clear one, which I can recommend, guys. If you're a camper like me, in your tent and whatnot. So I'm just making sure I'm not on any frequencies I shouldn't be. Anyway, this is the tidradio, second generation. What makes this different about most radios, this is ham and GMRS. And what the GMRS is like family channels. I think that obviously it's the 446 channels in the UK, which are allocated for anybody. This radio pushes out, excuse me, weed in the background there. I'll show you. Just a little bit there. Anyway, turn the radio on. First thing you'll notice is a nice colour screen, look, with a power meter. And this radio bangs out 10 watts, which is quite amazing, really, considering it's a little handy. What else is pretty good about this radio? You've got a very big menu with loads of controls, mic gain, but just all your basic normal controls. The battery in this radio is a 2500 milliwatt hour battery, and I've got to say, I've rinsed this. I went out deliberately, maxing it out, see what the battery was like, because obviously you're pushing out 10 watts. It's quite a bit of power to be poking out of one of these, but no, she performed brilliantly. I've got to say, tidradio, take me out to you. Even though this is a cheap radio from China, it doesn't feel cheap, guys. Whatever they've done here, and the people going about the spurious emissions, and what that is basically is if I transmit on one channel, it's sort of bleeding over everything else and interfering with all sorts of shit. And they test these radios, you see. And this one is basically, do what you want, Donny. Or fucking whoever you pretend to be. I don't give a fuck, mate. Call who you want up and say what you want. I don't give a fuck. And do me a favour, fuck off on my channel before I ban you again. There you go. Dutchman, he doesn't support anything you're fucking chatting about. Grow a brain cell, mate, and try and do something positive in your life instead of sitting there fucking... You're telling me to grow up. Fucking mongrel. What a fucking idiot, eh? We'll get rid of him by doing that. See you later. Yeah, anyway. He's just a fucking idiot. Anybody sees any idiots, right? Just let me know and I'll just block them. Because he's been infiltrated by a few. He's trying to scare me by saying, I don't give a fuck about Clarion housing. I certainly don't give a fuck about you. Do you know what I mean? Makes me laugh. Coming in all these different names. Why don't you just come in under your proper name and have a fucking civilised conversation? Or are you too far fucking behind in your brain that you cannot do that? Because to be honest with you, you don't really bother me. Do you know what I mean? Do I look bothered by you? All I've got to do is press one button and you're gone. Like you are. Do you know what I mean? Go and bother someone that you're going to actually bother. Because if you carry on, I'll tell you what'll happen. You'll get a tap on the door. That's what'll happen. Then you'll regret it then. But yeah. Back to the tidradio. Hello, Thomas. Good evening from England, and hello to Germany. Anyway, we just had a bit of a troll there that I've had to deal with, who's got the brain cell of I was going to say frog, but I think that would basically be undermining the toad and the frog family. So we'll say the brains of a sieve. How about that? A sieve. Anyway, back to the tidradio. Bosh. Where was we before that idiot that I've deleted? He took my brain off of the point I was on. Anyway, back to the tidradio. Yeah, this pushes out 10 watts. It covers 2 meters, 30 centimeters, all sorts of frequencies. You can also, and what makes this quite unique, I'll just spin the camera around, is obviously this is a second generation radio. And it's actually got Bluetooth. I'll show you. If you go down onto my radio there, we'll just light up the screen, but hit the Bluetooth button, and you've got Bluetooth there. And the Bluetooth works very, very well. Yeah. You've reminded me, Thomas, of what I was saying before that idiot came on, which was basically, this is a cheap radio, guys. This cost me £65, which in the big picture of things is pretty cheap. It doesn't feel like a cheap radio. It's got a colour screen. I'm pushing out 10 watts, man. My other handheld does 5 watts. This does 10. And what Thomas is saying there, he's got the same thing, but from both angles. Hang on, I'll spin this round so you can see it. Yeah, I've been told that this is just as much as a high performer and low sort of emissions as a Bofang or a Kenwood, which are the top of the tree in radio sort of terms. But this is just mind-blowing. 25. That's a good price. I've also got, if you got one of those Quanchangs, the Quanchang, I've got one of those as well, which you can open up to SSB and all sorts of stuff. But this one, which I've fallen in love with, yeah, it's just really cool. Obviously, you've got the squelch there. Menu. Turn the squelch down. We can jump from sort of, once I've exited it, jump from A to B, so we can go to 150, 500, or we can go on the PMR channels, which is 446 177 will take me to the PMR channels. What is the range, Daddy's asking? To be honest, as Thomas will know, the range is unlimited, really, if the weather's right. If you've got the right weather, I could be sitting here talking to Thomas. I can be sitting here talking to Australia. It's all to do with the skip. The skip. But Thomas is saying up to 10 kilometres there. I work in miles, so I've contacted and spoke to people over 10 miles away. So Thomas is saying hello. Daddy's saying hello there to Thomas. Yeah, you can use a repeater. Quite true what Thomas is saying. And what a repeater is, guys, is basically a static device which I transmit to, and it repeats that out. So in theory, your signal will get out further. But yeah, we've got the PMR channels in England, which is like public channels, walkie-talkie channels, things like that. But I picked my other radio up, which is just in the shop being fixed. I've got a like CB radio, which covers the German channels. That's 27 megahertz AM and FM. Oh yeah, this is legal to buy in England, but illegal to use on certain frequencies in England. So what I'm doing here at the moment is legal. But if I obviously haven't got haven't got a ham radio license, and I go on the 2 meters, why is it, Daddy? Because say 2 meters, if I went on the 2 meters, right, started chatting away, that would be illegal because I'm what's called a freebander. I haven't got a ham radio license. I go anywhere, but to be honest, I'm mainly on. I do quite a bit of illegal broadcasting, along with the other millions of people around the world. But I'm on the PMR channels. I mean, CB channels. I don't need a license for, and that's SSB. Do one right now. PC Ronald McDonald saying that. To be honest, Ronald, I'd probably pass, mate. I've been into CB since the 80s when I was a kid. Yeah, you can't hear the cops, Thomas, in Britain on here anymore, or anywhere. You used to be able to in England. I used to be able to tune into the police when I was a child on an FM radio, just a standard stereo radio, but it's now encrypted. Everything's encrypted, digitally encrypted now. And the only way now to listen to the police in England is by stealing a policeman's radio. But then you'll only be live until he gets on another one, tells the station, and they cancel that radio out. That's how that is. Fire service, you can listen to Corrupt FM. You a bit of a raver there? Bit of a party animal is that PC Ronald McDonald saying Corrupt FM. I know of a Corrupt FM that plays rave sort of music. Obviously, I come from an acid house. I'm from the acid house generation. That's what I got into after the two-tone, after the skinhead days. I went acid partying. I loved every minute of it. Yeah, anyway, back to Germany. I'll show you on Wednesday night, if you come on. I'll show you my FM handheld, which is 27 megahertz, right across the board, AM and FM. That picks up the German channels. It's a multi-banded radio, and I get 80 odd, which is quite unique because we got 40, Italy and that, most countries have got 40, but in Germany, I believe you've got 80 channels, man, or that's what I get when I tune into the German frequency. You get nice sunny weather, the skip's up and running, like now. You get the Germans coming in, you're getting everyone coming in on a 27. Ronald saying, yeah, he's happy hardcore? What sort of hardcore? Or old school hardcore? I don't really like the happy stuff. I mean, all the white gloves and all that, but fair enough. I mean, they're more the younger ones. But yeah, I'm into your old school hardcore. Love a bit of breakbeat, proper hardcore, man, what I call it. Love the jungle. But then when it turned drum and bass, it went a bit too dark for me. So, but I love the jungle. Been to some wicked jungle parties, man. In German, it's called. Now, I'm not going to say that. Now, my English is pretty good, but my German. See, they only taught us French at school. I'd have preferred to have learned German. Would have been more useful. Obviously, I'm into history. And my granddad was in the war, and my dad was in a submarine, and my other granddad was in another submarine. I read a lot of books about, obviously, the Germans and the British and what they got up to underwater. Gas Boot. There you go. Great film. Bit of a submarine man. Not that I've ever been in a submarine, but my dad was. No, I can't say that, man. I'm tongue-tied with that word. but I can understand the rest though. Oh right, yeah. Is that a scrambled message, like a scrambler, where you could both got to be on the same thing? Out to Daddy there, saying he's in Poland. Look, how's Poland this evening? All of Europe coming in. Look. Not that we're in Europe anymore, but well, we're still in Europe. Obviously, we're still part of the gang, but obviously not where everything, all the trade and that's concerned. But and I believe as time goes on, a lot more countries will be leaving that European thing. As long as we all stick together when the shit hits the fan, it's all good. Rushton. My dad would probably be able to say that, man. Do I know Poland? I've never been to Poland. We get a lot of Polish workers over here. I'm in the southeast of England. I'm about 35 miles southeast of London in the county of Kent, which is the same county as Dover, where you got the White Cliffs. I'm about 25 miles from Dover. I'm right in the countryside where all the fruit's grown, all the apples, the strawberries, things like that. But, we get a lot of Polish, what I was saying, we get a lot of Polish workers that come over and work on the farms. I think what they do is stay at the farm, send their money back home. And obviously back home, the money that they earn in England is worth quite a bit of money. So they're obviously looking after their families back home. So yeah, we still, and even after coming out of, obviously the Brexit, coming out of Europe like we did, having a boat, and the boat was 52% to 50. So it was only 2% that took it over. So we left. But we're still getting a lot of Polish people coming in to my village, working on the farms. In fact, it's quite good money. I've worked on a lot of farms. Rushton. I get stuck after Rust. Yeah, I get stuck at the DER bit, Thomas. Anyway. Yeah. All I can do is advise people, go and get one of these, man. Because I do a lot of camping in my tent, it's really good that it's see-through. You've also got like...
Before we go, a quick look at tomorrow's front pages. The Times donor dollars pour in as Harris promises victory, and the Guardian senior Democrats throw weight behind Paris.
Got your FM radio.
Trump, and that is the world tonight from me and everyone.
It's the Olympics. Believe it's the Olympics tomorrow, isn't it? Starting. That's from Paris. That's from France, I think. Talk about rap music, man. I can only really talk about old school rap music. Do you know what I mean? I don't, not the new stuff. Back when rap music was rap music. Back when they was rapping about what was going on and not killing everybody and guns and... But yeah. What is two-tone? Good question. Two-tone, as you'll see, and I'll play you a little tune. Going to get some music now. We're going to turn the record player on, guys. Didn't think we'd be... You don't understand the two-tone, right? Two-tone is a record label. I should really do a whole video. In fact, I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to lay down a whole video explaining what it is, but I'll give you a quick little insight now. Hopefully you can understand my English. I'm trying to speak quite fluently and correctly. What two-tone is a style of music which was invented by a guy called Jerry Dammers from Coventry. And he was in a band called the Coventry Automatics, which later turned into a group called the Specials. The Specials had tunes like Ghost Town, Gangsters, and I could go on and on. And basically what two-tone music is a blend of ska music, reggae music and punk music. And A lot of it's skinhead sort of music, but not in a racist sense, because Ghost Town, Gangsters. Yeah, I'm going to play Gangsters, man. I'm going to play Gangsters, which is on this album that I'll show you. The specials. Ooh. And also Madness. And these bands all launched their careers under the two-tone. So you must have heard of Madness, Our House, House of Fun, and lots of other Madness are still going today. They were a two-tone band. You also had a band called The Beat, who did Mirror in the Bathroom, Stand Down Margaret, and I could go on and on. You also had another group called The Selector, who did a tune called On My Radio, and various other tunes. They're still playing today. And then you had another band called The Body Snatchers. They're still playing today. And you had one more band, and that was Bad Manners, who did Lip Up Fatty, The Can Can, Special Brew. So where did I listen to it? No, this is before raving. I'm going back to 1979, when I was a little boy. When you were quite lucky to have a transistor radio in your bedroom. If you had a transistor radio in 1979, you were doing all right. And obviously, I'm right into music. Yeah, this is before the raves, man. Anyway, I'm going to play Gangsters. Or should I play a message to you, Rudy? Who knows? But this is the specials. And I'm going to play... I'll play the Gangsters, man, because that's the one that started it. In fact, I'll show you Gangsters. I'm that much of a two-tone nutter. And it's skinhead. It's like skinhead music, but not obviously two-tone. It's black and white. It brings it all together. And the original skinheads were actually black guys. So all them people out there saying, oh, you skinheads are racist. Skinheads was originally black. So anyway, this is Gangsters, man. Check this out. Bosh! The Gangsters of the Selector. And that's in the picture frame. I'll show you two more little pictures. In fact, we'll have three more that I've got. This one's fell out. I've got to sort that out. This is a Madness one. Boom. This is the Beat. Brilliant band. One of my favourites. And we'll go down the stairs and then we get to the Ghost Town. And this here is an original copy of the Ghost Town by the Specials. This town is coming like a ghost town. And obviously we've got my two-tone picture behind the thing there, another one. Whilst they grow afros. Now the original, you go and check out a tune that the black dudes made for the skinheads, man. I used to make all sorts of tunes. It looks scary. What, the Ghost Town? Anyway, I'm going to play what started it, the tune that started it, which was by the Specials, also known as the Special AKA. And this tune's called Gangsters. And also, after the Specials ended, you had Fun Boy 3, Bananarama. Anyone heard of Bananarama? I guess they're pretty European. Do I still follow crime? Yeah. Yep, I do follow crime. Anyway, what I'm going to play for you tonight, everybody, is the Gangsters. So we're going to play the Gangsters.
Battery full. Vinyl.
Colton Leach. Oh yeah, Jason. I'm not too keen on Leachy, but then I was at the raves that he sort of took over the security on back in the day. Jason Mariner, the Chelsea boy, I love his videos. He does them every week with that other geezer. really like that. Dave Courtney passed away. He committed suicide recently. He shot himself, very sadly. But I think Dave was a very troubled man, like with his health. Yeah, Thailand, that's it. He does shows every week with a guy from England. They put out a show on Jason's channel and then a show on his channel. Anyway, I'm going to play you Gangsters. This is what started it, guys, back in the day. And that's the wrong speed. I've got this little player here. I'll show you my techniques after this. I've got 2 techniques decks, but I'm using this one tonight. Right, the Gangsters. I'll just scoot through a few tunes so people that have not really heard the specials can hear them. The specials.
Better think of your future. Time you straighten right out. Creating problems in town. Rooted. A message to you, rooted. A message to you. Too much, too young. You've done too much. Much too young. You're married with a kid when you could be having fun with. No more thinking. You've done too much. Much too young. And now you're married with a son when you should be having fun with. We don't want. No more thinking.
Too much, too young. #1 record. So I'm just looking for Ghost Town. We'll have a little burst of Ghost Town. Anyway, I've got quite a few records, 2-tone records. Oh, here we go. Little bit of Ghost Town for you. Another #1 record. But in fact, guys, after this record, sadly enough, the specials ended. As we knew them. But yeah, check out the Ghost Town. And this record was made in the 80s when Britain was quite run down. And to be honest, we've gone full circle now because we're run down again. We've got disorder breaking out on the streets and it's all mad. But there you go. Anyway, a bit of Ghost Town. was Ghost Town. I'll just show you my techniques, guys. Right into me. My mum used to be a rock and roll performer in the 1950s, and she made records and was on TV and all sorts of things in the 1950s, and that's probably where I've got my love of music from. It's probably my mum, and the fact that obviously she made records. But I'll just come into my studio room here, bang some light on so we can see. I'll just show you my decks and the mixer there. I use old school techniques. Madness. That's the first record I ever bought, guys, in a shop called Woolworths. Got some tapes up there. Anyway, these are my techniques decks. Yes, my mum was a singer. A very successful one. Very good stylist, that one. But anyway, that's my techniques there. Yeah, mate, Woolworths. That one, the first record. Madness, shut up. And I went to Woolworths, which was in my local town, and that must have cost me probably about 75 pence, which is pretty good. But yeah, that's the first record I ever bought. Madness. Now I've got, how many Madness albums have I got? Over 10. In fact, I'll do a few videos going through my LPs and that. Also got a lot of other music, guys. I don't just listen to two-tone. I've got some garage music, some rave music. How much does the power cost in my house? Quite a bit. Since it wasn't too bad, I'll tell you what I'm paying a day, but obviously I don't know what that converts into, but I'll give you it in British pounds. Don't know if you've got a converter or whether you know what the obviously the exchange is. But before COVID, I was probably paying, and I've got a 3-bedroomed house, and it's just me here. I was born in this house, like I've been here all my life, 52 years. But I was probably paying about £2 a day in electricity, £2. COVID came along, all them years ago, and it went crazy. My £2 then increased to about £10, or just under, say £8. But now, a few years after COVID, it's dropped back down. I'm probably on about £2.50 a day. Depends. Obviously now I've got my tent. I'm in my garden quite a bit, doing bits and bobs. No, not 50. Yeah, 52 years in this house, yeah. I was born in 1971. When I'm one of 5 kids. I've got 2 older brothers and 2 older sisters. And basically I looked after my dad, who was ex-submarines. My dad was in the submarines, and my granddad was also. Yeah, my parents were here, yeah. It's a council house, so it's kind of government scheme thing. But I can basically stay here until my days are up. But yeah, I'm the youngest of my family, and I looked after my dad for 20 years. But yeah, my mum was a singer, my dad was in the submarines, my granddad was in the First World War on a horse, and my other granddad was in the Second World War in a submarine. Yeah, everyone else lives elsewhere, yeah. My 2 sisters live in the same village here, but my 2 brothers don't live here in the village. But yeah, the price now. The government though have been helping us out with more money. But obviously we've just got a new government, so hopefully things will change, because the Conservative government are just, they're good for the rich people. And I don't come from the rich class, I'm from the working class, which is at the bottom. So in England, you've got a class system, guys. You've got the working class, which are the bottom. You've got the middle class, which is people, loads of money, nice car, nice house with a swimming pool. And then you've got the top three, are just on another planet. Ferraris and whatever you want. Money's no object, but obviously I come from the bottom, basically, which I'm quite proud of. Do I talk to my sisters? Daddy's asking now. I don't talk to any of my brothers and sisters, but I kind of smile and, well, yeah, I say hello to one of my sisters, but the other ones I won't talk to. They didn't really help me with my dad, and I guess my bond with my father is stronger than the bond with my brothers and sisters, that's for sure. Anyway, what's my battery on? 84%. I might make a hot chocolate, I think. I might put that record away. And this is the first press, this one. I've got a re-release of this as well. Oh God. This is a really good album, more specials. This is a 40th anniversary remastered copy, that one. New Order as well. New Order. And what's the other one? Madness here, look. Can't touch us now. It's a great album. And this is the Specials' first album, which is entitled The Specials. Anyway. Anyway, I'm going to charge my phone. Thank you for everybody for joining me anyway for the last 40 minutes. Whatever you're doing, have a good one. And I'll be back tomorrow night. And I'll do a live tomorrow night starting at, say, 8 o'clock. And I'll go right back to the beginning and I'll explain two-tone precisely. Because a few people have asked me that. What's this two-tone? And obviously, I'm mainly a music channel. So what I'll do is I'll do a video tomorrow night, and then when people ask me again, I can just direct them to that video, I think. I think that's a good plan. And obviously the Specials, after they broke up, evolved into other things. It's not just about the Specials, it's about Madness as well. Which out of all the bands, you probably have to say Madness has probably been the most successful in longevity. But saying that, the beat is still playing. Selector are still playing, Bad Manners are still playing, the Body Snatchers are kind of still playing. But obviously the Specials, you had Terry Hall, who was the lead singer of the Specials, and Funboy 3. He sadly passed away. So the Specials is never going to be the Specials again, sadly. And also the Beat, you had Rankin Roger of the Beat, who sadly passed away. And obviously the Beat, even though they're still out there, and I went to the Rankin Roger Memorial concert in Birmingham, which his son has now taken over from Roger and doing a very good job, I must say. Rankin Jr. losing my voice here chatting away about it. But yeah, and I suppose one day Suggs will pass away out of madness. Madness will never be the same again, but hopefully that's not around the corner. But what I do notice, obviously I collect records, two-tone records, and I know the market. And what I do know is when someone passes away, the prices go right up. And everybody's buying. It's crazy. Anyway, whatever you're doing, have a good evening. Thank you for joining me.